hardship. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See how it works.
Welcome. It is the 9th day of the month. We're sitting here in the studios of LTT 1180 AM. Show is called No Covers Live, Straight Talk, No Chaser. I'm your host, Al Elamine, coming to you out of the port city of Wilmington, North Carolina. Calling line today is 910-765-0097, 910-765-0097. You can find us on streaming on YouTube as well as our Gospel Joy station, Facebook Live, also on our Facebook Live channel. I see our Facebook Live audience is coming in for the day. Got a lot to talk about today, something specially on my mind today. I couldn't get to you Monday. I apologize for missing the show on Monday. Had something personal to take care of. It outweighed me getting here, but it all worked out good because it gave me an extra day to really focus and study on what I want to talk about on this subject today. The show is called Today, This is America. Before I get into that, I want to thank everyone that came out for the weekend, Hispanic weekend, because we're going to tie that into what we're really talking about today. The Hispanic, the African American Latino Festival over the weekend went very well. We had a great turnout, for the first year, yes, we had a wonderful turnout. So thanks to all of the guests that came out and to all of the vendors that supported and came out. You vendors that vend, we're going to make sure next in September when we come back and do it again that you get a special rate. Let them know that you came out the first time, and we'll make sure you get taken care of. We always like to support those that support what we're trying to do. As I talked about that particular event, it ties into what I want to talk about today. This is America. My brother sent me, you all that don't know the topic, what we want to talk about. I see my Facebook Live audience going in. If you want to join in online and conversate, 910-765-0097. But feel free to leave your comments as we dialogue about this subject for the next hour. My brother sent the video to me immediately when he saw it. My brother's one of those ones that he makes sure I get what I need to do what I do. And he said something to me. He said, look here. He said the music industry or the hip hop is writing, they're scrolling your show out for you with the Kanye incident and now with the video. I have watched the video in detail. I am excited about the language and the information coming out because it tells us where we're at as a country and where we're at as a people. For you all that haven't seen it or haven't been able to break it down, let me give you a brief synopsis first of what I saw from the video. And you may add to it and take away from it online as we go through this. But the first 15 to 20 minutes, I want to deal with what I saw in the video that was so powerful coming from Childish Gambino. Now, let me give you a back take on him. When I first heard his first single, I knew he was going to be good because I saw him take an element of Parliament Funkadelic and bring it to light. He used the background sample music. Those of us that grew up listening to Parliament Funkadelic music know that when we listened to the music, there were two groups. There was Parliament and then there was Funkadelic. Parliament played most of the party songs, where Funkadelic played more of the political songs. George Clinton had a very unique mind. He could party with you on one end, but he could let you get a political message on the other end. One of the greatest Funkadelic tracks I've ever had was, Parliament tracks I've ever had, because they did more the political, was Marching to the Witch's Castle. When George takes a Gary Scheider solo, and he marches the troops home from the Vietnam War, and he gives you all of the atrocities that they have been through. It is one of the most classical records I've ever seen. So knowing this man was influenced with this, I know I'm dealing with a mind that can create something that we can hold on for a long time. In the video, there's the first gunshot. I want you to notice something in the first gunshot. In the first gunshot, when the man is playing the guitar and he comes behind and he pops him in the back of the head with the gun, look who he gives the gun to. He passes our garbage, our filth, our, and I say our, I'm gonna use our today because I'm part of this mess in America too. He passes it right on to the youth. If you look in the back scenes of the chaos that starts, the youth come and grab the man and pulls his body away while Gambino goes on into his dance rhythm routine. And then the youth resurface back and they dance with him. And they're dancing in a style and a rhythm, a little Afrocentric, but they're dancing oblivious to what the chaos is going on in the background. They are oblivious to the pain. They are oblivious to what is happening every day. There are people dancing on cars, throwing money up in the air, you know, making it rain. You see that in the background. You see chaos and manic going all in the background, but they're just dancing. They're getting that money. They're making it. They're doing their thing. Then comes the one that shocks everyone. This is the one that I watched the reaction of my 22-year-old that watched the same video, and I waited to see what his reaction was going to be with the next scene because I had already pre-surfaced the video, and so I use my sometimes my sons as specimens. I let them see it, and then I wait for their reaction to see how they're going to react to it because it gives me a general feel of how the public is going to react to the message that he's trying to relate. He has the dance movements, and then all of a sudden, AK comes in, and it splatters 10 gospel singers against the wall, outright deaf. Charleston, South Carolina, all over again. The church shootings, all over again. In Texas, all over again. He's letting you see what America has become and what it is. He goes through. You'll see a scene where he passes a rail and you look up to the top of the rail and there's some young men up there. All of the chaos is going on, but they're texting, downloading into their cell phones. You got to really look into the video to see all these things. You got to really watch it several times. You see the videos and they're downloading. They got masks on their face. They're the chemicals, the chemtrails, everything. They are just oblivious because this is America. It's business as usual. And then the last scene, he stops. He fires and he stops the last shooting. The last shooting is a silent shooting. The last shooting, he puts his hand out and he fires. And then he reaches in his pocket to get his, back in the day, we called it reefer, his joint. He lights it up in silence. And then we go back to the business as usual. And that's what we normally do. There's a terrible shooting, a terrible mayhem in our society. We are silent. We stop for a second. Everything freezes. We march, we sing, we protest, and we go back. We go back to business as usual. We go right back to business as usual. You haven't seen the video, you have to watch it because there's so much into it. Now, I'm not going to depress you today because I see joy in the video and I get to it in a minute. See, the video portrayed, I'll get to the joy in a second. I'm gonna give you the depressing part first. This is America. What he's particular, see the advantage. Let me give you a little history. Let me give you what I've been able to do. I had the ability or the fortune. Let me not the ability, the fortune to be able to leave this country at 18 years old. I was able to travel in a country I never thought about going when I was young, growing up. I was able to go to Europe, and while I was in Europe, I was able to travel throughout Europe. I got as far as Turkey on some of the weekend travels I would do. I would visit places. I touched the tip of Africa, just the tip of it, because I wanted to just touch that soil. But I was able to travel. I was able to get outside. I was able to take my military money on weekend pass. I would go and visit places and see things and talk to people as best I could. And if I had someone who could speak their language, I would talk to them as best I could. I was a sponge for information. Those years overseas helped me see something. America, the beautiful. And when you listen to the song, The American Beauty, that's beauty for those that look at it on the outside. They look at America and they see it as they see the culture, they see the capitalism, they see the Hollywood, the music, the culture, the freedom. They see all this stuff, and they, many of them want to get here and be a part of this big melting pot that we've sold to the whole world, that it's this big old melting pot, and you got so much freedoms, and you can do what you want to do. You can reach even the office of president in this country. It doesn't matter your race, your color, your tree. That's what we sell. But inside of that system is repulsiveness, is junk, mess, it's dirty, it's filthy, and it needs to be cleaned up. That's what's inside the system. The outside looks good. The outside looks like a model. The outside looks like Beyonce. But inside the heart, inside the system, it's repulsive. And it needs to be cleaned up. What I am so excited about is that the youth now of this country are being bred with a different mind. And they're beginning to express themselves on an artistic level. And they're going to bring a change necessary for this country to survive. That's the beauty of it. But inside, you look at the chaos in the background. Look at the racism in America. Look at the racism that you go through every day. Yourself, personally, look at the racism that still exists 400 years later. Sunday morning is still the most separated day of the street, of the day of the week. Still separated. Men are still getting shot. I've got a video over the weekend. If anybody's seen that video, I got a video over the weekend of a young man getting shot outside a store. Put on the ground, tased first, and then here comes the struggle. He's shot again. These police shootings are becoming to so much, you have to track them. You have to go to a certain website and see who gets shot, because what? CNN is not covering it anymore because it doesn't even make news anymore. They're still shooting, but the shootings does not make news anymore in certain areas because they're getting tired of them. And we become immune to them and nothing gets done. So it just continues to happen. America owns 4.4% of the world's population, yet it has 22% of the world's people behind bars. 22% of the world's prisoners are in America, which owns only 4.4% of the world's population. But 22% of all the prisoners worldwide are locked up in the cages and the slaughterhouses of America. This is America as we see it. They said the employment rate is down. They said the employment rate is 4.4. Yeah, that's the rate, but they didn't give you the whole truth. The employment rate is based on those that are unemployed and continuing to seek work or looking for work. They didn't tell you about the 42% of men and women that are out of work, period. Yeah, 42% of the people don't have a job to go to tomorrow morning. 42% of the people in this country don't even know how they're going to make it through the week. 42% don't have the basic needs necessary because they don't know whether they can find a job or not. This is the country that we live in, called the free and the home of the brave. And look at the shootings. Look at the crime. All that he's putting, it's right there for you to see. But we're dancing, we're moving, we're grooving, and we're missing the whole background of what's really going on. Las Vegas Strip 2017, 58 dead, 546 were injured. In 2016 in Orlando, 49 was dead, 53 was injured. In Virginia Tech in 2007, 32 was dead, 23 was injured. Mass shootings continue. Terroristic shootings continue. And we still can't come up with a simple conversation on gun control without losing our brains and losing our mind. We can't have a decent conversation on how to control who has the guns and where the guns at in this country. But this is America. This is the country that we hold so proudly. The flag that we salute to stand for. I'm not one of those ones that are looking for a Armageddon scenario to change this. I stopped looking. My brother can tell you, I stopped looking for that in 1975. We grew up looking for an Armageddon event to change the society. I'm not looking for an Armageddon event to change anything. I've been gave up on that idea. I'm looking for us to change it. I'm looking for the Kanyes and the Gambinos. I'm rolling with them, but I'm sorry. I'm rolling with my youth. Y'all can call them nuts. Y'all can call them crazy. Y'all can call them disrespectful. Sometimes, yeah, it may seem disrespectful. They disrespecting their elders, talking about slavery like that. Yeah, I disrespected my father too. Yeah, I wouldn't be who I am today if I hadn't disrespected and went on my own way. Sometimes you have to disrespect. I would love to get to the brother's head and tell them to do it differently, but they're doing it. They're causing the conversation to shift. They're causing the conversation to be brought to the table. So I have to respect that. I have to admire that. I have to admire their creative gift because they're right now in the music industry. I see what's going on. See, you got your Jay-Z's and your P. Diddy's, but they playing party music. They playing club music. They're not trying to touch on issues because they know if they touch on certain issues, they won't be able to be airplay anymore. They're not going to be, their contracts are going to be gone. They're messing with their money. You messing with people's money. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the hearts on Facebook. Yeah, you playing with people's money if you touch. So they're gonna play that neutral zone. They're gonna give you a little controversy here and there. But Jay-Z is not gonna give you too much controversy. Yeah, I say he'll give you a little bit, but not too much. They stay right there, that border. P. Diddy ain't even touching it at all. Rick Ross ain't even gonna bother with it. They're gonna give you street music and keep you right where you at. But you have your Kendrick Lamars, you have your Gambinos, you have your Kanyes, those people that are coming because their mind is beginning to open up and they're beginning to see something different than the elders. I told my brother last night, I call this the Joshua generation. See, if you know the story of Joshua, there were 12 spies that went out. 10 of them came back with a bad report. Only Joshua and Caleb had a good report and said, we can take the land. These young people wanted to take the land. They waiting for the spies, the 10 spies to just die out that didn't want to go in. This is what we're looking at. We're looking at a new generation of surfacing right up under our feet. Now let me give you the good report. So let me give you where this thing is headed so you can see America, but you can see, you want to leave? Do you want to leave? I say again, is there any volunteers that want to leave? Because the planes are out there and the boat is out there. You want to leave, you can leave. It costs you a passport. I did the math a couple of years ago. You can leave. Gambia will take you. Ghana will take you. You want to go to the Congo? Or you can go fix that trouble down having in the Congo. They're killing the Congo left and right. Trying to get those precious metals. Those metals that run your computers and laptops, and yeah, they killing them now. You want to go? You want to leave? You can leave. You have that option. You can get up, save enough money, and get a plane ticket. It's round about, I think it costs you about $2,500 to get to one of the countries in Africa. You save up enough money, about $5,000. You take over here, flip that money. You got about $60,000. You can live off for a minute. Buy you for a couple of goats and go ahead. You ain't got no air conditioning, no cars. You're not gonna have no luxuries now, but you can go ahead and go and find your job over there and go to work. And other countries that'll take you, you got a passport. You can leave anytime you want to leave. Or do you want to stay? Or do you not have a choice? You can't leave and you need to stay. Well, let me give you what we should be working toward. Childish Gambino him and Cayenne both these young rappers, these young artists are coming up and giving us the blueprint. They're giving us where we're at. They're letting us see where this country is right now. But let me show you what I see. Let me show you what I research. I am not living this life for me. I am not talking on this show for me. I am not writing books for me. I am writing them for the next generation, because the next generation is the generation that will win. This is not a prediction, this is facts. See, we don't have to wait on a mystery. It's happening right before us if we open our eyes and look. People of color, the next generation, we win. Now, if you're a scripture person, it's sad in the end, we're going to win anyway. But the next generation is the generation of win. Let me give you something. Do you know in the year 2044, 26 years from now, from my granddaughter will be graduating, my grandson will be probably coming a year behind. They'll be probably going off to college and graduating from college in that time period, in the next generation. Yeah, my granddaughters and my grandson. They'll be about that time, 26 years from now, graduating from college, 2044. Do you realize the numbers say in that year that ethnic minorities will now become the majority of this country in 2044? Do you realize that 50% of all births that are happening right now in this country, 50% of all births are happening by people of color? Since 2012, 50% of all births are happening by people of color. Do you realize that the Latino, the Asian, and the African American communities represent a $3.4 trillion purchasing power within this country right now? Do you realize that 1.4 million immigrants every year that come into this country in a 2-year cycle receive the right to vote? 1.4 million new voters every year. That's why he wants to keep them out, folks. 1.4 million every 2 years come in and receive the right to vote every year. And this has been going on in a cycle since 2012. Do you realize that in 2016, 31% of the electoral public that voted was people of color? Do you realize that 50% of all cities in America are a majority people of color? See, there's a reason why legislation and governments want to make it great again. There's a reason why they want to keep people out of the country, because the numbers are slowly changing and have been ever since the days they brought us to the shores of this country. While we hate slavery, while we are repulsed by the idea of we having to work 300 years of free labor to make this country great, while it pains us of the suffering that our ancestors had to bear in those slave quarters and on those plantations from sunup to sundown, while it hurts the history to tell our children what we had to go through, do you realize the benefits we will soon receive as a people from our 350 sort of years of servitude in this country? You all that really understand and believe, do you really realize that our time is soon coming? The next generation is what I'm living for. I'm not working for this one. I'm working for the next one. I was home this morning. I wanted my 6-month-old granddaughter. Every time she comes over, we have a lesson, and I have a drive to make sure she knows all her numbers, ABCs, and can read before she goes to kindergarten. Because I'm preparing her for 2044 when we become the majority. Hold tight. Understand the chaos. Understand the calamity. Understand what's going on. But understand that there is a price to pay for what we went through, and we will receive benefits from that. Stop waiting for the sky to open up. Just look at the facts. Stop waiting for someone to come back and wave a magic wand. Just look at the facts. Now, I'm giving you these numbers. I'm not even including these interracial marriages going on. Go get the documentary or the paper called The Coloring of America. I'm not even talking about the colorization that's going on within the family structure. I'm just giving you the facts based on white versus non-white right now. The America that you see today will not be the America 30 years from now. The America that shoots us today, the America that pains us today, the America that puts us about all the atrocities they put us on, those days are coming to an end. That I can guarantee you. I don't like ugly forever. I'm one of those logical persons. I used to be a very conspiracy theorist person. I used to be a very waiting for the to snap the fingers, the magic trick. Yeah. I like to do I like to think logically now. I like to do the logic procedure. Your pain is gonna go away soon. Believe me. You just keep fighting. You just keep fighting. But fight for your children. What if you go back in the video, the children, he wants you to see they are not focused on what's going on. The minstrel man has them dancing, the minstrel man has them playing, and we're the minstrel people. We are the adults. We're the minstrel person. You look at these videos that you put on Facebook with your child dancing but can't read. The videos with your child at the game shooting but can't read, can't write, can't do mathematics. All the posts that we put about our children, they can do such wonderful things, but they can't read and write. They can't study. They're not progressing in the world, and all of the other societies, education is moving past them because we're just dancing, we're just partying, we're just singing, and we're not preparing ourselves from the day when it's time for us to rule. Because we don't believe that day will come. We've come into a vacuum that this is how it's going to be forever. It's not how it's going to be forever. I refuse to believe that. Not if I produce giants. It won't be that for them. It won't be the chaos, the madness, the mayhem for them. But I got to stop them from dancing. I got to stop them from singing. I got to start them studying and start them swinging. I can't continue to give them foolishness and expect them to be giants in this world. I got them, get them prepared for this tide that's coming in their generation. We're talking about 30 years, folks. We're talking about a little under in 26 years. Within 30 years, the whole process is going to be in reversal. But are we going to be prepared? Are we going to sit back there complaining? And then some other group is rising ahead of us because they're more organized and prepared because they've studied the chaos. They've studied all the nonsense in the background. They're looking at it and they're attacking it and they're dealing with it. But at the same time, they got their children moving and studying with some books and some literature and some thinking. Get your children interested in outside genres early. My daughter brought the. I love to talk about. My daughter brought the baby baby grand started eating food lately, and she brought over the peas and carrots and string beans first, and she said, "No, I wanted to eat this first." She gets sweets later. The sweet potatoes, use most time you get a baby the sweet stuff first to get them on the baby food. She don't know. Let her learn how to eat peas first. Let her learn how to eat greens first. So that way she has a taste for that is healthy for her body. Then she can go to the sweet potatoes and the applesauce. Prepare for 2000, prepare this generation to move forward. We have been making a economic stride. I know people, I know it looks dim. I know, community, it looks dim. It looks like we haven't done anything since slavery some days. I know. I was the same way. I know it looks like we haven't made one bit of progress. Even though we didn't have a black president, we still in the same boat. They still shooting us, still can't get no jobs. Unemployment rate still high, still don't have no health care. We still getting indecent education. I know it looks dim. It's not gonna stay that way. We have to be running now. I guess like I don't have my no covers hat on today. It says keep running across. Keep running. Keep running. Keep running. Don't let that keep moving. You saw what he was doing at the end of the video. Running. He was running from chaos to freedom. He was from chaos to freedom. It reminded me of running through it reminded me like he was running through the woods of Africa, trying to keep from being enslaved to the nonsense. Don't be enslaved by the nonsense, people. That's my message for today. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to bring that message to you today. Don't be enslaved with the nonsense. Look at the nonsense, study it, study in the background, but make sure that our youth are focused on where they need to be going in this next generation. Make sure you focus on education and finances first. If you should have your child should have a banking account right now. No, you should be putting money in their banking account in a savings every week. You got 6 children. Okay, you got 6 children. You get paid every week. Put $5 in there in each account, in each savings account. Put it in an account with their name on it. So when they go across the stage, you can say, here's a startup fund, and you take that and put it somewhere else. You invest in their future. Invest in them now, so that when this shift changes, because it's going to be a shift change, you can see it coming. You can see it. When the shift change, they're ready. They're prepared. They're ready to move forward because we prepared them for this change. I know it seems bleak. I know what he showed in the videos. All we see in the background. That's what we see on a daily basis. But keep them moving forward. Keep them ready to get out of this system, because we can beat this system and we can get out. And you have another option. Not to say you can leave this country and go. 910-765-0097. If someone wanted to call, I saw someone to text me. I wanted to call in on what we talked about today. Again, I want to thank everyone that came out for the African American Latino Festival. We're going to do it again in September. Keep a lookout for it. Make sure you tune in and you stay focused here at the radio station of the things we do. Oh, I didn't tell you all, I didn't talk about the House District. You all are local here in Wilmington, North Carolina. I didn't forget to talk about the House District seat yesterday. Lisa Cohen beat Shipman and Boyer, which was, to me, wasn't surprising, but because she was everywhere. I did. Well, it was interesting. Wasn't really surprising, because I met her for the first time Saturday here at the station, and she was out. And she was out like a buzzbee. I said to myself, this lady has some energy. And I can't vote in the primaries anyway, but I said to myself, she has a little energy behind her. She was a buzzbee, and she was buzzing hard over here Saturday. She understood. We had invited all 3 candidates to come out Saturday, but I think she understood the impact of, she understood what I'm talking about right now, and what I've been talking about all day, and what I've been pushing. I'm on a new push now. I'm pushing for 2044. I'm not planning. Let me see. Nah, might not make it. It's 20 something. Yeah, God might give me 100. He might. I'm on some new turmeric now. I'm not working for my body, so he might give me 100. But if he doesn't, I'm pushing the agenda for 2044. Once I realize that the numbers say that's when we become the majority among all those groups, well, wouldn't it behoove us to stop bickering among ourselves and join forces with the groups that will be the majority? Have a coalition and alignment? We start with the Latinos first. I'm one Asian next. We have poor relationships as a community with Asians. Very poor. Other than going to eat Chinese food. Bishop was explaining me the other day. Do you know how much money we spend on Chinese food? Yeah, we have no relationships with Asians at all. Very little relationship. That relationship between us and them is mute, very small. But if we're going to be the majority population, wouldn't it behoove us to be wise and form some kind of alliance now? Wouldn't it behoove us to teach our children their language in school? Yes, 2 languages, 3 really. Our children, French, but it's definitely Spanish, a Hispanic language, and an Asian language. Those 2 basic. You can do French. French is just, you can do that if you want to. Make sure they do Asian, and make sure they do a Latino, a Hispanic language, Hispanic. Speak Spanish and speak Asian. Yeah, they should learn that so they can build relationships for when they become the majority. We got to stop thinking about the now and think about the hereafter. That's the hereafter, the hereafter. After all this mess is done away with, the after. We got to prepare ourselves for the hereafter. Not no high in the sky, right here. Right here. Right here. Prepare our children unless you get out of here. So once again, I want to thank everybody for joining in today. We'll be back on Wednesday, Healthy Living Friday. You can catch us on our blog. I want to talk about sarcoidosis on Friday and have someone else come in and discuss sarcoidosis with me. I want to thank everyone, all the supporters we have at the station on a regular basis. I want you to start tuning in on our shows, the Harvard and Bucky and 4 o'clock. They come on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tune in to those shows too. Those are very political minded shows. Give you a different aspect of where we're trying to go. Tuning in on our evening show, the music at night, very well. I'm hoping everything upgrades soon. And you all that have been running, I want you to keep running. I don't want you to get despaired. I don't want you to feel like there is no hope. I'm getting tired of giving these discourses with no hope. Hope's coming. We just got to be ready for it. You got to be prepared to take advantage of it. If we don't, we're going to lose out. We're going to lose our children, and somebody else is going to take. I'm going to say this before I close. I don't think we should have worked. Our ancestors have worked and slaved for this country, and done what they've done, the atrocities they've been through, and let someone else come in and take advantage of what we built for this country. I don't really believe in that. Reverend Al, I got to say this real quick on closing. Reverend Al, I think you're wrong on the senator who put the ban. She said that blacks should be able to capitalize on the marijuana industry, and we went ballistic. Why should everybody else capitalize on what we built? If we know that the cannabis industry has become legal across the country, why shouldn't some of that money come back to us? Here's a white woman that goes and says that she wants the monies, the profits to come back and as form of reparations, and we get upset. Somebody want to give us some money? See, that's them 10 spies. Joshua and Caleb gonna take that money. And Joshua and Caleb is going to take that money and make sure their schools in their community are fixed. Their rec centers in their community are fixed. If you're going to give us, if you're going to say, then they should get the profits. Some of the profits off that money should be toward reparations. Why am I looking like complaining to somebody of non-color is fighting for my reparations? Why would I look like fighting them? We got to get it right, y'all. We got to get this thing right. We got to get this right. So stay focused. We're gonna get it right, because my children gonna get it right. I see that the children are going to be the ones. The Joshua and Caleb to this world, they're going to be the generation that get it. They're going to be the generation that, and they're going to watch us go to our grave, and some of us gonna go miserable. I'm gonna go to mine with a smile on my face, because I know that they're gonna be entering that promised land that Doc and everyone the rest of them talked about. Peace and blessing, y'all. I see you all on Wednesday, on Friday, with the Healthy Living Friday.